Time for another fragrance review. Today I'm going to do multiple fragrances from the house of Initio. They've been getting some hype in the fragrance community, and that finally got around to smelling some of them. So the first one I'm going to do is Rehab. When I first had heard about this one, I was a little bit afraid because some people were saying that it smells like Spice Bomb, and some people were saying that it smells like Spice Bomb Extreme. Now, if it smelled like Spice Bomb Extreme, that would be cool. Well, besides the fact that it smells like something else, right? Because I actually think Spice Bomb Extreme smells good, but I'm not a big fan of the original Spice Bomb. But unfortunately, this one does smell more so like the original Spice Bomb. Although granted, it's only for the first couple hours or so, right? So I should say, once the fragrance has been on your skin for a while, it smells good, right? It's got a really nice aura to it. You got a good scent bubble. The performance is good. But for the first couple of hours, it just smells too much originally like the original Spice Bomb to me, which I'm not a huge fan of. And it's weird because there's no cinnamon listed in this, and some note breakdown do have black pepper, but so maybe there's just too much of a kick to it at the beginning, and who knows, maybe even the bergamot that they use is just that spicy or something. But again, there's just too much of a kick to it. I would actually compare it to, again, the beginning portion of the fragrance. Almost imagine something like Spice Bomb and 1 million, right? But you know how there's the flanker of 1 million, 1 million Privé? That's like the tobacco one, right? It doesn't smell anything like that, but imagine if 1 million tried to do a 1 million Privé or a tobacco flanker that used like a different kind of it's not that same kind of like buttery tonka bean, hookah tobacco, whatever, right? Like the beginning of this could have been a 1 million flanker with Spice Bomb together, because I get some of that weird kind of same kind of weird sweet harshness that is in 1 million, and the same kind of like spicy kick and like the same kind of Spice Bomb. I'd actually say the beginning also kind of smells almost something like I don't know if they sell it anymore, but it smells a bit like a juicy fruit gum. If anyone smell that, juicy fruit, right? Not juicy fruit. No, no, fruit stripes. Fruit stripes is a thing. They're like different rainbow. It's like a different. It's like a zebra gum. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know if they sell it anymore though. It's like a zebra gum called fruit stripes, but kind of like a spicy version of that, right? So it's got that kind of weird mix, almost kind of like a original Spice Bomb with 1 million, but with sort of a fruit stripe gum. I'm trying to be specific with the kind of gum that it is. Anyway, after this goes away though, I think it smells good. You got a good scent bubble around you, but I'm not a big fan of the original Spice Bomb. So would I get this? I don't know. I think it smells okay, but for my disposable income, to not like something for the first couple of hours is pretty hard to justify, right? So I'm gonna give it a pass, although I do think it smells good. I just am not a big fan of the first couple hours of it. Besides that, let me look. What else did I smell? I got it written down here. What other stuff did I smell? I think it was a Mystic Experience, right? Yeah, so Mystic Experience. The biggest thing I have to say about this one is I do think it smells good. And again, performance was fine. But I think this one kind of smelled, and I saw some people say this too. Some people said it had kind of a black Afghano vibe, and some people said it had a by Killian's intoxicated vibe. I agree with it has that same kind of thickness or mixture almost kind of smell that some that say like Black Afghano and is it Pardon? Is Pardon the chocolate one? It's been a while since I smelled that. But it does have that kind of mix of like a black Afghano and Pardon. It has that same sort of thickness that is in those fragrances. And not by Killian's Intoxicated, but by Killian's Black Phantom. And I've also said this in a review. There is a sort of mixture of smell and the thickness of that smell. Black Phantom and the Armani Privé Amber Accentrio also have a same kind of like thickness. So I guess I would say imagine this something like a black Afghano Pardon mixed with a by Killian's Black Phantom and that Armani Amber Accentrio. Is that what it's called? So if you like those kind of fragrances, I would suggest trying that. Hopefully that makes sense because that's what I kind of thought of when I smelled this. not a clone or anything like that. I do think it smells good, but it's just that sort of thickness is what it reminded me of. Again, performance was fine though, dude. I mean, it smelled fine. I mean, I would wear it. Would I buy it? Not with my disposable income, you know what I mean? I think it would be hard to justify, but it smells fine. Another one, let's do absolute aphrodisiac. Now, I might be a little bit harsh towards this one because I really like vanilla fragrances. So I wasn't amazed by this one, but I think it smells good. Like I would put this as would I get a decant of this if I ever had more disposable money at the time? I might, right? I would actually say, I haven't seen anyone say this, but I would say absolute aphrodisiac kind of smells like a rough version of By Killian's Love. So if you've ever smelled By Killian's Love, imagine your girlfriend wears By Killian Love and you wear absolute aphrodisiac. Hopefully you get what I'm saying, because it has that same kind of sort of fluffy, powdery, vanilla kind of smell, but there's a little bit of that warmth of, I guess we're gonna call it the castoreum or whatever, right? And it's got that same kind of powdery vanilla amber kind of thing. It's not the kind of amber that is like mixture. I should say mixture. I don't want to talk about two note. I don't want to sound like I'm a note monster. So when I talk about notes, I want you to think about notes being mixed with something else because I don't want to sound like I'm that fucking smart about a fragrance, but I can recognize at least mixtures of notes, I guess, right? So it's got that same kind of mixture, right? It's not like a delicious, yummy kind of like, say, Dolce and Gabbana, the one, the amber in that with the tobacco is really chewy and yummy. Or Tom Ford's Amber Absolute, the amber in that, again, very amber frosting. Like there's a different kind of like mixture of how it can smell. Like this is the more kind of amber that it can almost have a bit of a rubbery leather plastic kind of smell to it. Trying to think of how I should describe the mixture, but in general, I would just think of it as it smells good, but I really like vanilla fragrances, right? So I might be a little biased. But again, I would describe this as a more rough By Killian's Love, right? So if you ever smelled that, that's what I would describe this as. Again, performance is fine. And finally, I think it was Side Effect, right? Because I just did Rehab, right? What was it? I gotta go look. Was it Side Effect? The other tobacco one, right? Side Effect. I thought Side Effect smelled good. Unfortunately, I can't think of any way to describe Side Effect. It reminds me of a fragrance, but I've just smelled so many fragrances. It's hard to remember what it reminds me of. Someone I saw write in a review said it kind of reminds them of House of Sillage number one. I tried to smell that while I was smelling. If it reminds you of that, I can see a bit of a very subdued House of Sillage number one. A House of Sillage number one that has been drenched in vanilla and rum. A vanilla rum with a little bit of a tobacco, or I guess, I don't know. Vanilla rum, you put House of Sillage number one and just threw it in some vanilla rum. It's drowning, dude. But I don't know. I think, again, I really like House of Sillage number one though, right? But I mean, I'm just trying to say what I read a review. I saw a guy say that, or maybe it was a girl. I read the review. I'm not sure, but trying to see like that perspective, come from that perspective. But if it does smell like that, it's a very subdued. I can't think of exactly what fragrance it reminds me of, but it reminds me of something. But again, I think this smells really good. A really great kind of boozy rum, vanilla, tobacco. You know what I mean? I wish I could think of a fun way to describe fragrances. That's the reason I don't actually do a lot of fragrance reviews all the time anymore, because I feel like I'm not making it. It's more fun if I can make it sound fun, right? But yeah, I think it smells good though. Again, performance was good. Again, I had a good, nice, relaxing, comfortable aura around me when I wore it throughout the day. Um, I just felt like I smelled good. The bubble was good. Just like when I wore the Spice Bomb clone, right? Like after that, the black, maybe it's the black pepper, or maybe the bergamot was just so spicy, right? But once that went away, again, a lot of these, they have just really nice auras around you, right? So would I get this one too? If I had a high disposable income, I'd probably get a decant too, right? So a lot of these smell pretty good, but in my position where I am financially, it's hard to justify. But I guess I would recommend trying them potentially all, right? If you like it some. Again, in closing, the absolute aphrodisiac, a rough version of By Killian's Love that maybe your boyfriend would want to wear. Although I've worn By Killian's Love myself, so whatever, right? He's wearing a leather jacket. Put a leather jacket on By Killian's Love. That kind of association sounds good to you. Um, Side effect, again, I just said I can't think of exactly what it smells, but again, it's a really nice scent. It's kind of nondescript to me. I can't think of exactly what to say. It smells like, unfortunately. Rehab, again, the first maybe couple hours or so, again, kind of smells like a original Spice Bomb, fruit stripe gum, spicy fruit stripe gum with 1 million. If 1 million tried to make a 1 million Privé flanker that was not that kind of tobacco smell, if that makes sense, a different kind of thing, that first part. But then after that, again, nice aura around you the whole time after that, I think. And then finally, Mystic Experience, right? Mystic Experience, if you like fragrances like Amber Accentrio, by Killian's Black Phantom, um, Pardon, I think Pardon is the chocolate one from Nasamato and Black Afghano. It's not out there smelling like Black Afghano Ghost, so don't think that, but those are fragrances that come to mind because of the same mixture of the thickness of it. So if you like those, you might want to try it out. That's my review of those, my impressions. Thanks for watching. The end.